Now, we are going to move to result orientation. In order to look at what exactly is result orientation, we're going to use all the things that we have discussed so far. We talked about accuracy. Yeah, we talked about a right zoning of activities by taking to the next level. We talked about the time quadrants. We talked about our personality styles as far as time management is concerned. We talked about prioritization of Pareto principle. And just now we discussed about operational efficiency and strategy effectiveness. With all of these, we are going to look at how we can be more result oriented. All right. So now I'm going to show you a list of questions, and you can answer in your own notebooks or paper that you have, yes or no. You can just put a Y or an N against each of the question. In some cases, it may be occasionally, partially, sometimes, etc. But I would like you to give an answer of yes or no. And we are not going to ask you what is your result or what is your numbers. Therefore, be very candid in terms of providing exact responses in terms of whether you think it is a yes or a no for yourself. Many times if we spend too much time thinking, then we will not get the right kind of answer. The first answer that suggests itself to you in your mind is the right answer. So go ahead and give the yes or no for all the 10 questions. Okay. I'm hoping that most of you have already completed the exercise. Now count for yourself the number of questions on which you have yes as the answer, Y as the answer. Count how many Y's do you have and how many N's do you have. Focus on the Y's and list. You may have anywhere from maybe 0 to 10. But if you have been candid in terms of your responses, you will get a clear indication in terms of what your result orientation is. Okay. Now, if you have done that, the next part I want you to do is, if you have 8 and above yes as the answers, then you are in the green zone in terms of result orientation. You are very, very, good as far as orienting your activities towards results. If you are between 6 and 8, and let me share with you, in most of the sessions that I have done with people, I find that many of them are at the 6 to 8 kind of category, which means that there is still room for them to improve. However, they are fairly good in terms of being result oriented. And I don't think any of you may be in the 5 or and below, but if you are, then please reach out to some mentor or somebody who can help you, because definitely this result of 5 and below indicates that there is a lot of scope for you to become tremendously more result oriented and have a very fulfilling kind of life. Yeah, so this is what I just wanted to, this is again your own impression about yourself. Towards the end of the session, I will also give you certain tools that will help you to get a third-party view of the various activities, but stay with us till the end and we will make sure you get that. Okay, so this is about your result orientation. Now, when we talk about result-oriented action, there are 3 things. One is, what is the intention with which we are doing an activity? I'll give you an example. If I am giving, let's say, financial support to somebody. Yeah, I'm giving financial support to somebody. By itself, the activity looks good. But if I am doing that after inviting all the television channels and all the press, and I'm handing over the check with a lot of, the shosha, then my intention is not to help the other person, but to get some publicity out of it. Do you get the difference? The activity is the same, handing over a check to somebody. But the intention with which the activity is done, in one case may be a more pure kind of an intention. In the other case, not as pure. So one aspect that we need to look at is what is the intent with which we are doing something. Second is, what is the state of mind we are in when we take that action. Let's assume that we are in a state emotionally drained. We have just come back after a 10-day kind of rigorous climb up the hills, and you're very tired, you're not even able to keep your eyes open, and you come back, and in that state, if you take an action, it's obviously going to be very different from taking a decision when your state of mind is different, right? So that's the second aspect. Both of these, the intent and the state, are below the surface. Only you know your intent, you know, and sometimes people can guess, but by and large, you know the state in which you are taking that action. It's only the action part of it that is really visible. For us, it's important to make sure that the result-oriented action that you take is supported by a pure intent and an empowered state in which you are when you take this action. So for instance, let's assume that there is a small child that needs to have an operation because there is a life-threatening disease that the child has. And a priest, let's say in a church, just for the sake of example, decides that since the family is not able to afford that 1 lakh that is required for the operation of the child, the priest decides to call a prayer meeting in his church on a Sunday morning. So a lot of very powerful rich people are part of that church. They all come to the church. So the priest talks to them and tells them that, hey, look, this is the kind of situation. He creates a whole lot of, the awareness in the people about the child's condition and requests that people donate generously, liberally to take care of the child's operation. And they all pray fervently. Last 10 minutes is dedicated for praying for the child's recovery. And then they all go home. And next week, next Sunday, again, they've all come to the church. And as people are sitting down, the priest says, I have one good news and one bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? So everybody says, I want to hear the good news first. So the priest says, I'm happy to inform you that we have found the 1 lakh that is needed for the operation of the child. Everybody is thrilled. They all stand up and clap, and they are all, very, very happy that 1 lakh has been found. After about 3 minutes of continuous clapping, one person puts up his hand and says, but Father, you also said there is one bad news. What is that bad news? The priest says, the bad news is that 1 lakh is still in your pockets. So your intent in terms of fervently praying, unless it is matched by action in terms of what you need to do, cannot result in result-oriented action and therefore achieving the kind of things that you want to do. Now, how is it that is related to our experience today? For example, all of you have an intent to improve on your planning and organizing skills, which is why at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday, all of you have come for this particular session, registered on time, and are all listening in a very intense state. You don't have your Facebook open, you don't have other things that you are doing parallelly. You're focused on this particular webinar, which shows the state of mind that you have got as well. The next step is, are you going to take the action? Are you sure that the intent and the state of mind that you have developed in terms of becoming much better result-oriented person is matched by the action that you are able to take?